Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of Blureel Studios. I want to thank each and every one of you who has watched my Steelbook collection video or my regular Blu-ray collection video over the past few days. Thank you so much for watching these videos. They were a lot of fun to make. Well, at least the Steelbook one, because the regular Blu-ray one was excruciating to film. But in the meantime, I have gathered some more Blu-rays to add to the collection. I actually went to a storefront, well, to an actual store physically, and I bought me some Blu-rays, and some of these actually came in the mail. But before we get into any of that, we have to roll the intro. So, say it with me, guys. Roll the intro! First up, we have one of my favorite films of last year, Love and Monsters. I think this film was fantastic. It's very charming, very well made, and it features a fantastic performance by Dylan O'Brien, who has quickly become one of my favorite actors working today. The man is very talented and a very great actor. And of course, there's Leo again. She needs some attention, of course. Oh, you're adorable. Up next, we have the Andrei Tarkovsky collection on Blu-ray, which features 5 of his films, including Stalker, which I've already seen. And it's amazing. It's very, very unique, very experimental in a lot of ways. It's a sci-fi film without really feeling like one, and it's a film about philosophy. I don't want to go into too much spoilers, but basically the film is amazing, and what makes it even better is the story behind it, the making of the film, and what happens to the cast and crew after the film was made. And it comes with 5 more of his films, including The Mirror, Solaris, Andrei Rublev, and Ivan's Youth, which I am really excited to see because Stalker is a great film. Up next, we have The Act of Killing, a documentary by, let me see, Joshua Oppenheimer, and it's a very disturbing documentary. And this Blu-ray comes with the theatrical cut as well as the director's cut, and I watched the director's cut, which is amazing. It's it's a very disturbing kind of film. It basically lets executioners tell the story of how they killed hundreds of people back in the day in 1965, and it's very disturbing, very unnerving, and a really, really great documentary to see. Up next, we have Monster Hunter on 4K. I know, I mean, I guess I have some explaining to do in this regard, but I love monster films. I am a sucker for monster films, and this is no exception. I own Monster World on PS4, Monster Hunter World on PS4, which is a fantastic game. And this film is written and directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, the man, the myth, the legend behind the Resident Evil films, and that's why Mila Jovovich is in the film. I watched it in 4K, and it's actually entertaining as hell, but really, really bad. The monster designs are fantastic because they're ripped straight from the game, of course. The action scenes are varying from competent to messy as hell, but I actually kind of like the story for all its flaws and cliches. It's told fairly well. There is some character development in there that I wasn't expecting, and Mila Jovovich and Tony Jaa actually put in some decent performances, and they work well with each other, and there are some character moments in there that I really wasn't expecting from this film. But the editing is a mess, and not really in the action scenes, because those are okay, but in random sequences there are some just weird cuts and shots inserted that like really just disorientate you, and you're like, what is going on? So yeah, Monster Hunter is not a great film, and why did I buy it on 4K? Because it's the only version they had in the store. And it brings me to another kind of rant. See this case, the thinness of it, which I really, really like, and compare this to Annihilation, for instance, which I really do not understand. Why are Blu-rays and 4K still being released in this format? Because yeah, it comes with 2 discs, sure, but so does this one. So you're not gonna tell me that they have to put it in this kind of a case in terms of, you know, because they need space for discs, which is bullshit, obviously. And you have to figure out, you have to think about who is your market, who are you selling this to? Collectors. Who is buying physical media nowadays? Collectors. And what is the biggest issue collectors face while collecting? Shelf space, of course. So this is a godsend. Why are not all 4Ks and Blu-rays, for that matter, released in this kind of a case? Yes, I am fat shaming a Blu-ray case. And I cannot figure out why. Why they would release it like this. Is it just because of the... Why is that? I'm thinking about it right now. Is it because of the fact that most storefronts or more stores place them like this on the shelf and this would pop up more in your eyesight? Probably. But it's stupid. It's really stupid. Stop it. This is the way to go. So yeah, Monster Hunter on 4K. A anniversary collection that I received several weeks ago was this one, Alien. I talked about this in my Blu-ray collection video, but I wanted to give it some more attention in this video. This is the 35th anniversary collection edition. I also own the anniversary edition for Aliens, which is amazing. And I prefer this one because this is like a heart sleeve. This one is cardboard, which tends to bend, and I do like the design of this one. I like the image and how it kind of pops out in a very special way. The contents of this one is, of course, the Blu-ray, which I love this artwork, this case, and this kind of folder, which comes with a lot of content. A Dark Horse comic book, Alien, the Illustrated Story, which is an entire comic book about the film, which is amazing. Great artwork in this one. And of course, some concept art cards by H.R. Giger, which is amazing, of course. Like, it's very disturbing. Yeah, I love this thing. I had to wait a long time for this one. I ordered it, and I had to wait like, I want to say 2 months for it to arrive, and then it came kind of damaged, but it is what it is, you know. With collecting, especially ordering online, you win some, you lose some. That's kind of the nature of the business, unfortunately. Now, while I was in the store, I also picked up some series on Blu-ray, including True Detective Season 1, which I already own on DVD, but they had a sale on these series, so I picked it up on Blu-ray. It's a fantastic series starring Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey. It's reminiscent of Fincher at his best. Mindhunter, the series, is very reminiscent of this one. And yeah, I love the show, I love the performances, I love these actors. And of course, I highly recommend you buy this one. I also picked up True Detective Season 3. No Season 2, because from what I hear, that season is terrible. But this one is back on track, and I cannot wait to see it with my wife. We both loved the first season, so this is going to be a lot of fun to watch. I also picked up Watchmen, the HBO limited series, and I love this slipcase because, yeah, it has some magic to it. And I love the movie by Zack Snyder, I really do, and I cannot wait to dive into this show and see where they kind of take this property. And I really like to see that. Speaking of Zack Snyder, the Steelbook, the 4K Steelbook for Zack Snyder's Justice League, the 4-hour glorious monstrosity that is Justice League in its full-fledged glory. I watched it in the span of 2 days, and I love it. There is no other way for me to say this than I love this movie. It's not perfect. I gave it like an 8 out of 10, but it's so much better than the theatrical version. Steppenwolf in this film actually is menacing, is a presence. The design is really, really out there, but it works for that character. It's so much better than Justice League by Joss Whedon, because that version is really, really bad compared to this one. I'm thinking like the end fight where Batman's gun stops working for some reason. And in this version, Batman actually has something to do. They actually kind of find a way to make his lack of superpowers work in some way, that he has some job to do that is actually important. And yeah, I love this version. I love this film, even in its 4:3 aspect ratio, which was supposed to be shown on an IMAX screen. The screen is not like shrunken. It's just higher. You see you actually see more in the frame than you do in the 16:9 aspect ratio. But to fit on a screen, they had to shrink the actual size of the image, but not really limit what's seen in the image. You know what I mean? Yeah, I love this version, and the steelbook is absolutely stunning. It's a beautiful steelbook, even though it's really hilarious. I mean, once you realize what Batman is doing in in this picture, he's holding his batarang, and that's kind of all he can do. But yeah, that's actually going to be it for this episode. It's short and sweet, I know, but these are the additions that have come to the Blureel Studios family in the recent weeks, and I wanted to talk about them separately, because I don't want to do a wrap-up party anymore like we had to do for last year. I want to keep these videos coming out consistently so that I, stay on track with the additions. That's going to be it for me today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Blureel Studios. My name is Glenn. I will see you in the next one. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Ciao. Justice League. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that the best parts of even Joss Whedon's versions were actually Zack Snyder's Zack Snyder's decisions, and yeah, Justice League by Zack Snyder. Amazing.